Hi everyone, Janie here, and today I am going to be doing a beginner-friendly tutorial on making a simple journal or an easy journal with 2 signatures in it. And if you're a beginner and you don't have tools like a paper trimmer or a scoring board, don't worry, you can do it without that. All you're going to need is scissors and a ruler and a pencil, and of course some sort of adhesive like glue or double-sided tape, which you can pick up someplace like the Dollar Tree. And of course you're going to need cardstock and paper, and I'm going to be using a digital paper kit from VectoriaDesigns called Magical Unicorns, and of course I'll be using a printer, but both of those things are optional, but I'm going to show them to you anyway. When I saw these Magical Unicorns digital printable kits in VectoriaDesigns Etsy shop, I absolutely fell in love and had to have one of these kits. And since I can't print everything out, I thought I would just show each kit to you this way. The first one is the Magical Unicorns Junk Journal Mini Kit that comes with 12 journal pages in 3 different sizes and 10 full-size papers and 7 embellishment sheets. And the Magical Unicorns also come in a standard kit and a deluxe kit, and I will show you both of those. So here's the Magical Unicorns Junk Journal Standard Kit, and it comes with everything that was in the mini kit plus much more. Actually, twice as much more. And this next one is the Magical Unicorns Deluxe Junk Journal Kit, which comes with everything you just saw in the previous kit, plus another junk journal kit called Fairy Tale Realm that includes 19 journal pages in 2 sizes and 7 full-size papers and 6 embellishment sheets. So basically you don't have to buy all 3 kits to get everything, or you'd end up with a lot of duplicates. Now, if you don't want a journal kit, there is always the Magical Unicorns Printable Paper Pack, and that comes with 8 unicorn-themed 8.5-inch by 11-inch vertical papers, and of course you don't have to print them out that size. You can always print them out a little smaller. Well, even though I can't print out all of the papers that are in that kit, I did print out all of the papers that I'm going to need for today's project. And there's a couple things I want to show you before I get started. One is that I printed the journal pages on regular printer paper, and I printed them out at a lower quality ink setting because I didn't want the journal pages to be too dark or too bright. And I printed on both sides, and everyone's printer is different, but the way that mine works is that the papers come out like this, and I just turn it over and put it back through, and it printed in the same place on both sides with everything going the right direction. And I did that with several of them, and so they're just beautiful. Thought I'd show you a few of them here. But this is just a wonderful journal kit. I think it is so beautiful. And so I also printed these out at the size that they actually are. I didn't do any adjusting or anything like that. So this is the smaller of the 3. There are 3 different sizes. This is the smaller of the 3. And once you print them out and cut them out, the size of each of the pages, or set of pages here, is about 6.5 inches across by about 5 inches tall. And so they will have printing on both sides. And the difference in the printer quality, I will show you right here, is that this was done, like I said, at the lower printer quality. This was done at the higher printer quality. And oh my gosh, look at the gorgeous colors. Such vibrant purples and teals, and just magical. So I printed these. This is just like the pages, okay? And you can print them out the exact same size. If you can't adjust things like I do, just print it out and they will all fit together. But I did make these a little bit larger, just my choice, my preference. And I printed on the back. There is one of the papers is just a distressed look, And so I printed it on the entire back so that when I cut these out, the insides of the covers will have this on it. And here are some more that I printed out. All of these things can be printed out full page, but I have made them all quarter pages. And they are just absolutely beautiful. And let's see, also wanted to show you really quick, I have printed out some of the ephemera pages. Now these are 4 different pages here, but I printed them out half page size because I am working on something smaller. But I just wanted you to see how beautiful these are. And I love all of the words on this one and a pocket on this one. So there are just so many. I mean, this is just a fraction of what you're going to get in that kit. And now I'm going to go finish cutting everything out and getting it ready. And I'm going to come back and we're going to start on the tutorial for the journal. Okay, I've got everything cut out for the signatures. And so these are the papers. And I used 6 sheets for each one. Sometimes I only use 5, so it's totally up to you how many you use. And then I put them all together, and then I folded them in half, all at the same time. Now you can always, if you have a scoreboard, you can always go in and score each one individually, or fold each one individually in half and put them together. But I like taking them all together and then folding them in half. And of course you can always use a bone folder to smooth things out. And then for the covers, I did the same thing. I had them cut out and I just folded them in half. And again, of course, you can use a bone folder to help flatten out that crease a little bit more. So with that done, I'm going to be putting these inside of the covers. And as I mentioned earlier, I had printed these out just a little bit bigger than the pages. So let me get it up there so you can see that it is just a little bit bigger all the way around. You don't have to do that. These could have been printed out the same size as these and it would have worked just perfectly. So next, I'm going to show you how I'm going to be attaching these. And there's a variety of ways to do this. And I want everyone to remember that I'm aiming this at beginners. So I'm trying to make it easier and less complicated and less tools. But there are other ways to do this. So what I'm going to do is, let me bring this over here. I'm going to move my camera down a little bit for you so we can get a little bit closer there. And what I'm going to do is I have staples. And I'm going to place the staple right about where I want it to go. And then I'm going to use my pencil and put a little mark at the end of each end of the staple. So let me pull this back so you can see it. Just like that. I'm going to do the same thing at the other end. And where you put these is totally up to you. I'm not even measuring. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So I'm putting a little dot there and a little dot there. Okay. So that's what it looks like. And with everything in place right where I want it, I'm going to take my little pokey tool here. Now if you don't have something like this, you can also use like a safety pin, the end of a safety pin or something. So don't worry if you don't have a tool like this. And I am going to be poking all the way through at all of these holes. And sometimes it's a little difficult going through all of this, but there we go. Got it through. And I'm going to do the same thing at this end. Just poke it all the way through. And one thing you should do that I did not do before I started this is making sure that, yep, everything was going the right direction. Okay, now with that done, we have the little holes that came through on this side. So I'm going to take a staple and I'm going to stick it through. And sometimes it is difficult. I've already got one side through. Let me see. There we go. I got both sides through. So let me see if it'll focus on that. So you can see that there's a staple there. And then I'm just going to fold those ends down. Now, I usually hurt myself if I try to do this with my fingers, so I'm going to grab the other end of my little pokey tool here and get that right in there, like so. And there you go. Now I just need to do this on the other end of this one, and I'm going to do it to this one, and I'll be right back. And now that I have them together, I wanted you to know that you can use them individually and just have a nice little journal, or you can put them together in a larger cover that I'm going to be showing you here in a minute. You can also decorate them. For example, if you wanted to add some lace trim like this, let me slide this on here really quick just to give you an idea. You can, use some lace trim and some other decorations. I'm planning on using one of the cutout ephemera pieces, and I'm going to be putting that on the front of this one, and I'm going to be putting the other one on the back of this one just to decorate them. But they're beautiful enough just the way they are that you don't have to do anything. And I know for a lot of beginners you may not have a lot of things that you can use to put on these. So I think they're adorable just the way they are. But now I'm going to show you how to make a cover to hold them both. Okay, using a piece of 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock, I'm going to open up my paper trimmer here, and with the 11 inches going across, I'm going to cut this at 7 inches, which is right there. And then we'll set this aside. It may come in handy. And close this back up. And now, with the 11 inches on this side, I'm going to put this in and cut it in half at 5.5 inches. So let me make sure I've got that right. 5 1/4, 5 1/2. Oh yeah, I remember 5 1/2 follows that line right there. One of the nice things about this paper trimmer. Okay, so now I have these two pieces, and now we're going to do some scoring. I could have done the scoring with my paper trimmer because it also has a scoring blade, but when working with 1/8 of an inch, it's easier for me to use my scoreboard. And so with the 5 1/2 inch side here and the 7 inch side there, we are going to score at 3 5/8, which is the line just past 3 1/2 inches. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to go to 3 7/8, which is the line just before 4 inches. And that's all the scoring we're going to do, and I've already done that to the other one, so they are both scored and ready to fold. Okay, so we're just going to fold on those score lines, just like so. Well, maybe if I can get my fat little fingers in there. There we go. And that one. Okay, and so it has kind of like a spine right there on the end, and then you'll see that one side is longer than the other. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And while I'm doing that, if you're following along, you might want to go grab some glue or double-sided tape right now. Okay, so I've got my glue. I'm going to be using my Beacon 3-in-1 just because I like to have that wiggle room. And as you know, each one of these has a side that is shorter than the other. So we're going to take the two short sides and we're going to glue them together. And we're not going to be gluing it across the top because we're going to create a pocket, and we are not going to be gluing the scored areas because those are going to be the spine. So what I'm going to do is take my glue. I'm going to just put a little bit down the sides and across the bottom. But notice, I'm not putting it on the spine, I am putting it next to that fold. So just like that. And then we're just going to put them together. And the nice thing about using a glue like Beacon is that I can make sure everything is lined up, because I'm not really good at that. So if I had used, you know, double-sided tape, I probably would have made a mess. Okay. So I'm just kind of folding it to each side, just so that I can make sure everything is lined up. And it is. And so now this is what it looks like. And this is going to create a pocket. Now, keeping things with beginner easy, beginner friendly, there's something that I forgot to share earlier when I was doing the scoring. What if you don't have a scoreboard? Well, I'm going to show you on just a scrap piece here that what you need to do is take your ruler and mark where you want to score. So I'm going to do it at like 2 inches here. So I'm going to put a little mark right there. I'm going to come over to this side, put a little mark right there, and then you can either draw a line or just put your ruler where your marks are at, and then just lift it up. And there you go. You've scored it. It's that easy. So you could do the same thing with the score lines here. Just you know, put your lines, put your little marks right where the places are that you're going to score, and then just use your ruler. Okay, do you remember that strip that we had left over? This is where it comes in handy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it at 5.5 inches, which is cutting it in half. And then I'm going to cut it at 1/2 inch. And I really love this paper trimmer, because right there is 1/2 inch, because sometimes it's hard to get 1/2 inch on this side when you pull this down. So I'm going to put it up there at 1/2 inch. Put this down, and there we go. Now I have a really nice 1/2 inch strip that is going to fit right along that spine to cover up where they come together. Okay, so I'm just going to add some glue right down this spine here. And I'm making a mess on the front, which is not good, but luckily I have a glue eraser that I can kind of get rid of that with. Plus I'm going to be covering it up. But now I'm just going to take this strip and put it right along there, like so. And that just gives it a nice finished look. Alright, so I will be back in a second when this is dry. Okay, so a couple of minutes ago when I was putting the glue on, and I said that I had kind of made a mess going over the edge, and no problem, I have a glue eraser. Well, this is a glue eraser, otherwise known as an adhesive eraser, and you can pick these up at the Dollar Tree or any craft store, and you use it like an eraser to rub off any excess glue or adhesive that you might have. So this is a must-have for all of you. Next, we're going to take a look at the pocket. So pocket opens right here in the center, and you don't have to put a notch in it, but you can. You can use a circle punch, which is really easy, and I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to show you that you just slide it in halfway and you punch, and you'll create a nice little notch. But what if you don't have a punch to do that with? Well, what I've done, and I know that you can probably barely see it, but I put a little mark and then one in the middle. So I measured in from each side to where I want this, and then I put a little mark in the middle, and then from that mark I went over here and left one. Now, I don't want that to be confusing, So just measure in equal distance and then find a spot right in the middle and put another dot. I did mine about 1 inch down. And then next, let me grab my scissors. And I'm just going to cut from this mark down to that one, and from this mark down to that one. And it is a triangle instead of a half circle, but it works just as well. It creates a really nice opening in your pocket. And you don't have to go down as far as I did. You can go wider, skinnier, longer, totally up to you. But that's a great way to create a little notch if you don't have a punch to do that with. Now, you can put your paper on. If you want to put decorative paper on here, you can put that on first and then do that. But I just find it easier to just cut through these 2 layers instead of cutting through 4 layers, because I'll have a layer on each side. And so that's just easier for me. But then when I go to put my layer on, I'm going to do the same process, making sure that I'm using the same measurements that I used here. And then just glue my paper on either side of that. Silly me, with this other leftover piece, I was going to show you how to make a spine cover to go around this, and instead I showed you how to score, but that's okay. We're still going to use the same piece, and so it's 5.5 inches long, which is what we needed, and it is 1.5 inches wide, which is perfect because I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to turn it around and score it at 1/2 inch. And I didn't have to turn it around, I guess. I could have just scored it at 1 inch. But with that done, we're just going to fold on those score lines. And then it's going to fit perfectly over the outside. And then you can just glue that on. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that because I think I'm going to be putting lace over this. But we'll see. But I just wanted you to know that there is an option of doing that. And it was just with that same leftover piece that we'd cut off the side. And then we cut it down again so we can get this piece. And so you don't waste anything. You actually use everything from that 8.5 by 11 inch piece of cardstock. Okay, so now it's time to decorate. And I'm actually going to do that off camera. And then I'll come back and show you how we're going to insert the signatures into this. But before I do, I wanted to show you that I made a mistake, and I like to show when I make a mistake because I'm also going to show you how to correct it. So I printed these out the wrong size, as you can see, and I'll use them for something else. They're beautiful. I can use them on another album. I can use them on a card. But with the magic of editing digital papers, I was able to go in and print these out the size that I needed, and there's the same height, but I had to make this skinnier, and you know what, it still looks good. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go cut these out. I'm going to decorate this, and I'll be back in a flash. Okay, so I glued that cutout piece right there on the front. That is so pretty. I really love this set. And for this one, I glued that one on the back. And we've got the front cover and the back cover. And then I put some bling down the side. And if you are looking for some inexpensive bling and embellishments, I got this on clearance for 27 cents somewhere. But look at the Dollar Tree or clearance sections in craft stores and you'll find some great deals. Okay, so now it's time to put these inside. So the way we're going to do this is we have this middle flap right here. And we're just going to make a couple of snips. So over on the side, don't do it where the actual fold is, but right near the fold, right in there. Just give it a nice little clip, just like that. If I was going to say how big of a clip, I would say somewhere between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch, whatever works for you. Now, was that easy? Let me show you again. We're using the center section right here where the pocket is, and we're just putting a little snip at each end. And then we're going to stick our little books in there, and we're going to grab something like this. This is kind of like twine, kind of a thread. I don't know how much I'm going to need, so sometimes it's easier to kind of leave it on the spool to start with. So I'm going to grab a lot. And actually I'm going to move the books out of the way to start with. And we're going to put that thread right into that slit, just like that. Okay? And then we're going to find the center, which is where the staples are, or whatever you use to hold it together. And we're going to slide that right through the center of that book, just like that. We're going to come around to this end, and hold on a second here. I don't want to pull everything out. Let's get this back in its little slit up here at the top. And then I'm going to bring this right down here into the little slit at the bottom, if I can find it. Just give me a second here. It's like I'm over here, the camera's over there. Okay, so there we go. We have it in at each end. Now we're going to find the center of this book right there. We're going to pop that in and bring this twine or thread around. And now I kind of have an idea of how much I need, and I'd rather have more than enough just for working with it. Okay. Again, make sure that everything is in place, everything is in the slots, because we are going to tie this snugly. So, see if there we go. And then I'm just going to tie this, and it will be done. Now this is easier to do with two hands, and I don't have two hands. So I'm going to go off camera so I can kind of hold it down better to tie it in a knot, but I'll be right back. Okay, here it is all done. So I will show you that we have the twine going down the center of this book and the twine going down the center of this book, and that's where the little tie is. And with that twine, it makes it easy to pull these signatures out and put new ones in if you want. And in fact, with the staples, it also makes it easy to pull the papers out and put new papers into each signature if you would like. So there we have that. And now I'm going to show you something else. This envelope is part of the kit, and I printed it out on paper, and so it just needs to be folded, and you can score it if you would like with a scoreboard, or you can just take a ruler, put it up against those edges, and I should have done this on something dark so that you can actually see it, but all you have to do is do that on all sides. Just put it right up to, hold on 1 second. Okay, I had to grab my craft mat here because I thought it'd make it easier for you to see what I'm doing. So I'm just going from corner to corner like so, and then folding this up. And the reason I'm showing you how to do it this way is, like everything else I've been trying to show today, is how to do this if you don't have any special tools, if you don't have a scoreboard or things like that. I really want to make this easy for beginners. That's really important to me. And so there we go. I'm going to go fold these in, put some adhesive on there, fold that up, make sure that everything is straight. If I didn't get it straight the first time, there we go. And I will have this adorable little envelope. Okay, I've got that envelope all put together, and I am going to be putting all of these beautiful pieces of ephemera that I cut out, that I printed out and cut out, so that the recipient can personalize this journal any way she wants. So all of these little goodies are going to fit right here in the envelope, along with all of those word cutouts that we had. Moonlight, dark, flower, stylish, all kinds of words. We're going to put them all right here in this envelope as well. And Maybe if I can get them all together here. Hold on one second. There we go. Put them all in there. Close it up. And guess what? Let's go back here to that pocket on the back. And, oops, somehow I got a page in there. There we go. Okay. And that's going to fit perfectly right there. That is so nice. Look at that. Okay, I love it. Now, we're going to go to the pocket in the middle. And I added a little ribbon to the bookmark. And I also put in one of the little cutout pieces in here just to show that the pocket is here, but the pocket is big enough you could fit all kinds of stuff in there, okay? Not just these two pieces, all kinds of goodies can go in there. So let's say the recipient has pictures that she wants to stick in there, pictures of her best friend and her and her boyfriend, who knows? But there's that pocket, and then we're going to go to the front, to that belly band that I had showed you. And let me pull this up close. What I did is I took some of those cutouts and I glued them to paper clips. Now, you'll see that mine are shiny because I put some clear embossing powder on them, but you don't have to do that, okay? But all I did was glue them onto a paper clip, just like that. You can pick up paper clips at Dollar Tree or anywhere. And they come in handy if, you know, she wants to mark a place not with a bookmark, and just have that. So those are cute little clips. I love making those. Those are fun. So, and there we go. Stick it right back on there. And so that belly band holds 3 of those. And there we go. A cute little journal that has all kinds of goodies in it, and perfect for anyone that loves unicorns, because this magical unicorn kit is just fabulous. Oh, this is fabulous too. This is one of the ephemera sheets that I had printed out, you know, half sheet. But I'm going to be giving this also to the recipient, and she can cut these out when she wants, and she can add them in here if she wants, or she can put them on other projects. So that's going to be part of my little gift for her. Before I go, there's one more thing. So if you want a closure for this, you can do it simply by tying a ribbon around it, and then the ribbon can be slid off and on just like that as a closure. And if you're an advanced crafter, you know how to add ribbon ties or Velcro closures or magnetic closures. But for you beginners, this is just a simple way to do it. Okay everyone, it's giveaway time, and my regular viewers know that once in a while I like to hide a giveaway somewhere in my video to keep everyone on their toes. And today's giveaway is for all of you that have watched all the way to the end. This is a fabulous prize worth over $100 and was donated by VectoriaDesigns for my 30K celebration hop, but no one claimed it. So I hope one of you claim it this time around. Good luck everyone. Well, I hope I made this tutorial easy enough for beginners, especially those that don't have a lot of craft tools. And for you advanced crafters, I hope this gave you some inspiration. It's so easy to make a journal when you have a printable digital kit that has everything you need and that you can use over and over again. At the recording of this video, VectoriaDesigns had a promotional sale going on that is now over, but they have generously offered a discount code for 60% off the original price for my viewers. And that's good on the Magical Unicorns Deluxe Kit, Standard Kit, and Mini Kit. There will be links to those kits below in the description box along with the discount code. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and happy crafting everyone. Bye-bye.